Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Football Gaze YouTube channel. We're going to be going through MetaSoccer today. New play to earn game, and as you can see on the screen we've already got the website loaded up. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on the background of the game and everything that you do, because we've got a podcast episode lined up in a couple of weeks, or potentially next week, with a member of the MetaSoccer team, and they're going to come in and explain all about the ongoing things, all the football players that will be joining and all the rest of it. So I'll leave most of the detail out and just give you a quick run through today. As you can see, these are the players. Pretty cool, decent haircuts. I'm just going to run you through a few of the little details today. So if you're on the main website, metasoccer.com, and I'll put all the links to all the websites and all the things we're going to go through in the bio of the video, so feel free to check them out at your leisure. First off, under the info tab, we've got the white paper and all the audit information, all the technical details basically. The white paper does show you all about the history and the background, what you can do, how you can win, a quick explanation on the market, the digital currencies and how they plan to expand and grow. So a lot of information here, and to be honest, it's going to take hours just to read through that, so I'm not going to be doing that today. But yeah, basically this is all the information you're going to need. And if you're interested, I would recommend checking this out first, and also join the Discord, because there's a lot of useful information in there, announcements and other things of updates that are going on. So let's get started. So a bit of background on it. We use MSU tokens to buy packs of scouts, and the scouts basically allow you to go and search for players, bring them back, and those players get minted as NFTs. You can use those players in a play to earn game to earn MSU, which you can use to trade for other players or sell and get money back, whatever you want to do basically. This has been out for a while now. The first couple of drops have already happened. As you can see, drop 1 and drop 2 have already been completed and sold out. I think they sold out in around 6 minutes, maybe even less. And basically what this does is this gives you an opportunity to buy the scouts. It's got a bit of information noted out here of the critical things that you might be interested in. So you can see here there's the starter, bronze, silver and gold, and these all have different prices. So MSU is linked to the stable coin, the DAI stable coin, which is linked to the dollar, so it's pretty stable. And 500 of those will get you the starter scout. Now that works out at about £40, $52. So not massively expensive, but again not cheap. But probably your best bet to get started. And then as you go up, the scouts get better in ticket value, and they also increase in cost. So you go into silver, for example, you're looking at £480, and if you go to gold, you are looking at around £950. So the difference with these tickets is the quality of player the scout will find, and any player can play in your team. Obviously, with better players, the more chance you got of winning. If we click on this quickly, we can just see this is all the information about the tickets and your probability. So if you do get a scout ticket, you've got a 10% chance of a goalkeeper, 36% for defender and midfielder, and 19% for a forward. And this is just a bit more information on what I was just talking about, the youth scout knowledge. So the starter scout will get you in the range of 40 to 49 players, bronze 50 to 59, and then at gold you've got 70 to 79. And the scouts do increase in knowledge as they go on missions and things to find your players, so we'll go into a bit more detail on that later. One of the other things on the scouts is when you do get a ticket and you create your scout or mint your scout, you get a different probability chance of getting special abilities. These are in-game abilities for the players, which will basically make them better. There's like a captain, which improves all your players' abilities and skill sets. There's penalty takers, free kick specialists, all these different things, and these are the probabilities that you will get a scout who has the ability to find those players. Next part is, once you've got your scouts, you've got the MSU. So again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this. This is the currency used within the game to buy players once the market's up and running, and used to trade and other things that you're going to be in the in-game marketplace. So this MSU token, as I say, is linked to DAI, and they have got a token bonding curve, which I don't understand the ins and outs of, to be honest, and I don't plan on doing too much research. But the general gist of my understanding is that because of the burning mechanism and other things they have set up in this, the price will remain pretty stable. Obviously, being linked to DAI, it's linked to the dollar anyway, so that gives it a bit of stability. But then, obviously, if people come in, buy and sell loads, pump and dumps and whatever else, you could see this MSU price fluctuating quite a lot. The token bonding curve basically stops that from happening. So you can see on here, this is the history of the token since it was minted for the first time in December, 17th of December. We've gone from 12 cents. It's gone down in January to 9.5 cents, back up to 13, and then currently we're at 11. So there's not been much volatility in that whatsoever, which is good, because I think the plan is basically that new people coming in don't want to be buying in at a massively inflated price and having to compete with people who were buying down if it was like really low here. So I think it's really good, and it will mean that when people do find the game and do enter in it, they're not competing with people who have already stockpiled loads of MSU and can just basically buy all the best players up. So yeah, that's pretty positive. There's loads of different details which they've already got kicked off with MetaSoccer and MSU token, MSC. One of those is staking. So any tokens you get, you can already stake with a 71% APY currently. As you see here, I've had token stake for 30 days, which have basically going to allow me to pay for my next scouting mission for free. So pretty good returns at the minute. The game, as I said, has the scout tickets, and if you don't want to wait for the next drop to come out, you have two options. You can find the MetaSoccer Youth Scout tickets. Please make sure you follow the link in the Discord, because there are a few fakes and copies and things out there. So all these links are available in the Discord, and I will put them on the video bio. But yeah, as you can see, these are all unminted Pioneer Scouts, and basically what that means is these are the first off tickets which were released. If you buy one of these, you've got a chance of getting one of the Pioneer Scouts with high stats. You could get a lower one still. That's the risk you're going to take. The other option you have is going into already minted MetaSoccer Youth Scouts, where the floor price is much lower, and you can see exactly what you're getting. So you look at the properties, he can scout for defenders mainly, and he has all of his scouting knowledge available. So obviously this guy is quite low, 41 out of 99, but he has a purchase price of 0.19 ETH. So you'll pay less, you'll get a potentially worse scout, but you know what you're getting. Takes a bit of the risk away. Personally, these guys will be better and find you better players, but it depends on what you're looking to spend, and also, you know, what your appetite for risk is. So I've already got my scouts. The players available as well. Sorry, so we have players which have already been minted. The first players were minted on Friday from scouting missions, which scouts have been sent on last week. Which basically means you don't even necessarily have to buy a scout. If you want to put your team together, you can come in here and you can literally buy players straight from the market on OpenSea. There will be a market coming on MetaSoccer, but for now, you can get the players direct from OpenSea. Again, there is a pretty big difference in the cost of the players. So the lowest one at the minute, 0.016 ETH, you can pick him up for $5. Heinz, Gorg, Landerks. Nice hair. But he will have low stats. Yeah, so he's 23 out of 99, and his maximum potential skill level will be 42. So he's not going to ever get very good, and he's not very good to start with. But he is cheap, and you could basically put him in as your right forward, and you've already got a position field in your team. So rather than buying the scouts, you can avoid that and go straight to the player market and search for specific abilities, roles, whatever you want. Basically, make your team that way. And there is, if you go to the top players, let's move this out of the way. You go to the top players, you are going to be looking at spending a lot more. And the special abilities, for example, if you find there's only 24 magicians, they're selling for a lot more than the basic guys. So depending on how much you want to spend and what stats you're looking for, you can put your team together just like that. So yeah, I've already started putting my team together. I had 3 scouts go out on missions. And as you can see here, here's my scouts that have already gone out. I've got Bust, Sherpin, and Christian van Kroonstrom. And these all have different stats as well. And you can find all this information out when you're looking on OpenSea for your scout. Mine are all pretty basic. I didn't get any very good ones, to be honest. 3 pioneers, so they will progress quite quickly. But yeah, at the minute, they're not great. And I picked up a goalkeeper one for quite cheap off the market, just so I had a goalkeeper to play in the team when it got started. But I've purchased another goalkeeper off the market, so he's pretty much redundant now because he is trash. So yeah, plenty of players. And my players are all shown here. So every player that I've either purchased from the secondary market or got from a scout is available in my player tab already, and these are all the players I have, and you can see the current ability, the potential ability, the age, and the position, and a little visual of the player. And when you click on the player, you also get an overview of all their skills, their height, their weight, third foot. This is all going to be updated, and there will be more information here when the game kicks off in a week or so's time. And form, status, and condition all rise and fall based on the number of games they play, their form, just loads of different features. Basically, they're all included in the game and explained in the white paper. And then any special abilities are here. So I've got a player, for example, who is, where is he? Yeah, so YB Fetchner, 19-year-old right forward, and as you can see here, he's got the special ability penalty kick taker. So he's basically get a pen, he's probably going to score it. So that's one of the special abilities, and I think there's like 20, 30. You can read all about them in the white paper as well, and what they benefit your team. So this is my players, and basically what I've done is I've put together a team based on all the best players I have so far and who I'm going to be competing with next week when the play to PvE starts. So let's get into that. So I've knocked up a little PowerPoint presentation because there's not actually access to formation setting anything yet on the website. That's all coming within the next week or two. So yeah, here's the team I've stuck together. So first off, we've got Ewob Forboard. He's one of the keepers I bought off the secondary market because I didn't have any to start with, basically. He's the best I've got, and he has got an okay overall stats to start with, pretty middle of the road, and a pretty middle of the road potential as well. Not great positioning, not great speed, but yeah, generally all mid-50s. So he'll do to start with. Pretty tall, so good, what you want in your keeper. And he's the first one that we're dropping in. So you see, there he is in the squad. Next up, we have Andre Opsal. He is pretty good. I've picked him up on the secondary market. He's a left back. He's 18. You see from his skills, defensively, low 60s, good speed for a left back, and all the other main stats like shooting and finishing you don't really need. Heading's pretty good. Because of his potential, what my tactic has been is there will be people with better scouts than me. People that have bought the gold scouts, and they're going to have players with, probably starting in the 60s in their current ability and higher potential. But they can only mint one of those players with that scout. Whereas my scouts are able to search for 4 or 5 players, but they're of lesser quality. So my plan is to basically go into the secondary market, find players with good potential and decent mid-50s starting, so that when the game does kick off, the most people I'll be playing with will be competing probably with worse players than I will. So yeah, he's basically, because of his potential, there is only 9 players in left back position in the game which are equal or better potential than that currently. So he cost a couple of quid. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for him, but he looks like a good starting option. So we've dropped him in left back. Next up, we've got Zenel Kaluza. Again, decent potential. Good start in mid-50s in his current ability. Left-footed centre-back. All of the defensive actions, mid to high 50s, almost tactical. And his physical and mental pretty good. Decent strength. Decent passing. And decent heading. So all the things you want in your centre-back, basically. Again, I think there's only 60 odd centre-backs who will be similar or better than him in potential wise, or with more with a current ability higher. But again, I think it's a good starting point to have. So yeah, picked him up and he drops in at centre-back. Another centre-back we picked up off the secondary, right-footed, high potential, good starting abilities. And again, he's got not the best, but with that high potential, I'm expecting these to go up pretty quickly. So all the defensive stuff, the heading's okay, strength's okay, but because of his high potential and his age being so low, I'm expecting after a few games he will improve quite quickly. He is one of my players with a special ability. So as we were talking about earlier, certain players have certain abilities. This is just a little captain badge. This isn't actually on the webpage. This is on the overview tab. It shows his special ability as captain. I've added this in just a bit of reference. He will basically, when I play him as captain in the team, improve the stats of all the other players. So really key one to have in your team. Find a captain and get one, because they will just make all your players better, basically. So he is in Rifat Homeldat. I don't know how they come up with these names. I think it's got a bunch of random letters and threw them together, but Rifat's the team captain. So in he goes. Right back. Now, right back's one of our better positions we have. I've gone through the secondary, and I also minted a couple that were pretty good from my scouting missions. So I have a couple of options here. First one, Dwayne Kratzer, high potential, you see, 74, and he's got a really good starting of 58. He is actually a right wing back though, rather than a right back, and I think based on the current tactics I'm looking to use, I probably will be going right back. But yeah, really good stats, low 60s for a lot of his things and high 50s, so he's a good option. The other one is Jackson Clues, who's just slightly higher in the overall in his current ability, and slightly higher in his potential ability as well. So 59 to 77. Same age, slightly taller, and his stats are, I think we compare a few, so sliding tackles 67 to 61, standing tackles 65 to 62, and similar strength and vision and passing and all these other stats. So I have to make a choice on who I think my starter is going to be, and I went with Jackson Clues. Just because of that higher starting ability, basically. You will be able to do different training teams outside of the PvE and PvP, which will increase your player stats. So, although I've got these players in my starting lineup, my plan is I will be doing friendlies regularly, and I bought enough players to allow me to do games outside of the competitive games where you can still earn MSU and you can still make money, but I'll be playing my lesser players in those games to improve them and probably sell them, or keep them as backups and then try and adjust my team as I go, basically. So next up, we've got Bashir Chevalier. High potential, high current, good current ability of 54. He's a left winger. He is right-footed, but I'm hoping because of the tactics there might be some option for, with Football Manager and these sorts of games, you get tactics where you can set your wingers to inverted wingers and other things where I hope he'll be able to fit in. I'll find some tactics to suit him. His stats aren't great, but with that high potential, I'm expecting these to go pretty quickly. He's got the dribbling, he's got the crossing, he's got the finishing, so he should hopefully chip in with a few goals, and his speed's good as well. So really, really good starting option at left wing. And there is, because of his high potential, there are actually only 7 players on the secondary market at the minute which are equal or better to him. So my hoping is that when I come up against people, his current ability and his potential rising quite quickly will mean there ain't going to be many people who have got a better left winger than me in the game. So he should be pretty good. In he goes. So next up, centre mids. We've had some options, but we've also had some issues. So I started off, I got quite lucky with the player which I minted. I got Thibaut Akidin. As you can see, he's not got the best potential, and he's not got the best current ability. He is a CDM rather than centre mid, and his defensive is pretty good, which will probably help me out quite a bit, and his heading's good, passing's okay. But the one good thing about him is he does have the Magician special ability, and what this means is he will basically, whenever he gets near the opponent's box, his stats increase. A lot of other Magicians, there's only 24 on the secondary market which are currently being minted. So a bit wasted on him because he's a centre defensive mid. He's probably not going to get boxed too often. But yeah, it's good to have, and I think the lowest on the market with that ability is 0.4 ETH at the minute. So he was quite a lucky pick for me out of the scouts. But yeah, I picked up another guy on the secondary who has much better, higher current ability of 51 to 49 and a much better potential ability. Yeah, he is actually a centre mid, and yeah, his stats are better, much better, but he doesn't have the Magician ability. So who I play out of these two will probably be rotated quite frequently as I try to improve Thibaut. So I'll probably be rotating them and playing them in friendlies and competitive matches and rotating them quite a lot. So yeah, that's the options. Started off with Grosscorp in the starting role because of the high ability, basically. There are loads of better players out there on the secondary, and it might be an option where I have to go and look to maybe get someone who is better in that position, because his potential's not bad and his starting's not bad, but yeah, he could definitely a position I could improve on. Next up, we've got my biggest signing so far, Stevie Svensson. Good starting of 57, high potential. There's only 13 players on the entire game minted so far with an equal or higher potential. So again, gone in, bought someone who's, going to be really competitive with the rest of the players. He did cost quite a bit. I got a bit excited. Spent 0.05 ETH. So he wasn't cheap, but there are a lot cheaper options out there, and he was just someone that I wanted, so I went and got him. Good stats all around, really. His vision's good, his creativity's okay, concentration, speed, and again his finishing and his shooting. So I'm hoping he'll be chipping in with the goals. Sort of why I decided to spend the money on him, basically. Also with the other issues I'm having the centre mids, so he seemed like a good option. In goes Stevie Svensson. Next up, Karl Heinrich. Let's just call him KHV. Poor man's KVB. Good potential, good starting stats. Right winger, good dribbling, good crossing, good speed, and again good finishing and shooting. So hopefully he'll chip in with the goals. There's only 6 players better than him currently in potential on the secondary market. So again, he's going to fit right in with the. Hopefully, if he improves, he should. He'll be really competitive in the first couple of weeks and months of the game. So, looking forward to seeing how he gets on. So, who else do we have coming in? We've got 2 forwards. Again, forwards is somewhere I need to improve, really. The 2 guys I've got, picked him up on the secondary market. Santino Majolis. Good finishing, good shooting, good strength. Position is not great, and all his tactical stats are really pretty poor. But yeah, good potential. So I picked him up because I was quite low on good options for forwards basically, and he was pretty cheap. I saw him late at night. Someone obviously stuck him up, and one of the things I'm finding on the secondary market at the minute is with all the scouts coming back from their first missions, everyone has loads of players. So the market is quite flooded at the minute, and the prices are really low. Think, to be honest, it's a bit short-sighted of people because they can only mint probably 3, 4, 5, 6 players with each scout, and they are going to need to put teams together pretty soon. So everyone seems to be trying to flog their players at the minute. When really, I think now's a great time to be buying, which is why I've been doing it. Putting together a high potential team while everyone else is chipping all their players out, trying to make their money back on what they've spent on the scouts. So yeah, striker, and he's gone into the team straight away. So next up we have got YB Fechner. He is the penalty kick taker we looked at earlier. Really basic stats, not great potential, not great overall. And I have got a few options that are probably out. He is the right forward, which is why I've put him in currently. But I have got a few right wingers and other players that could probably play with better stats in that position. Not quite sure how it's going to work at the minute, but I might try a few different guys out there. He's in at the minute because he's got that penalty taker skill ability. So he's dropped in. And this is the team so far. So we've got a starting lineup. In the words of Mike Bassett, Football Gaze will be playing 4-4-2. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the team so far. I have spent a bit of money. But I'm hoping when the PvE comes out and you're gaining the MSU for winning games against the MetaSoccer game, I'll be improving my ability and my potential of these players. And, getting the MSU back to buy more players or to sell and get some of my money back pretty quickly. So, and then again, once PvP comes in and there's cups and there's leagues, you will win MSU for finishing in the top parts of the table, for winning cups. The quantities haven't been announced yet. I'm expecting them to be pretty good because they've made quite a lot of money on the ticket sales. So there's definitely money there to pass out in rewards and things. The exact figures I don't know off the top of my head. But yeah, I'm hoping the rewards will be quite substantial for the higher divisions. And although there will be guys out there with the higher scouts and the DAOs and the guilds and everything else that will be putting teams together, I'm hoping that mine will be pretty competitive. Probably not in the top division, but maybe a few divisions down where the rewards are pretty good. So I've also got my subs, and I've stuck a few together here, which just shows all my defender, midfielder, forwards options, right forwards, wingers, other strikers, left wingers. There's a few in here with good potential and good starting stats that we've already discussed. So like I said, I'll be playing them in the friendly games, trying to improve them. It'll also give me the option to have, if injuries or things happen, to put half decent players in the positions to cover them. But also with having so many, when the potential stats do start improving and their ability goes up, I'm hoping a few of these might be worth a couple of quid and I can sell them to fund improvements to the team where I need it. Got a couple of improvements I've already identified. Goalkeeper options, talked about at the beginning, they are not great. I probably need to go and spend some money and get a better potential, but also current ability goalkeeper. Just because my guys they're pretty standard at the minute, and they're probably not going to be competitive where I want to be playing. The other bit I'm missing is a special ability. So I have got the captain, I have got the penalty taker, I have got the magician, but there's a lot more special abilities out there in these players which will be really critical. So the set piece takers I think will be good. There's also warriors who improve all your players' aggression and other stats. So yeah, there's definitely something I need to look at and maybe try and find similar level players that I've got, but with those special abilities. And to be honest, looking on the secondary at the minute, those are the players that are going for a lot of money. So I might just have to hold back on that for a while and see what happens. The other improvement I've got to go for is the scouting options. So the scouts that are available, the people that do have the gold scouts, those gold scouts which cost a lot of money, do only return one player, but that player is a potential of 90 or whatever it's going to be. So that's something I need to look at. My three, I've got a goalkeeper. Sorry, I've got four. I've got the goalkeeper, who is the basic 40 odd players, 40 ability he'll find, but he's not great. But then the defender, the midfielder, and the forward, all in the 60 range. Again, that's not going to be probably good enough where I want to be competing. So something I definitely need to look at. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything. I'm going to put all the links in. Please remember to like and subscribe. We will be putting out more content as the games kick off and doing run-throughs and summaries of the games. And there'll also be the podcast coming in a week or so's time with the member of the MetaSoccer team. So we'll have more information then. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.